Hey everybody, happy Friday. Pandy here of Pandy's Hair Candy and more. How's everybody doing? It is Friday night, y'all, and I am back with my Queen Sugar review. And as you can hear from my background, we still haven't got the right battery for my smoke detector. So please forgive my beeping background. When we pulled it down, it had like some kind of special orange batteries that we had never seen before. And apparently we have to go to like a Lowe's or Home Depot to buy them because my husband went to CVS and thought he was going to just get like some Duracell or Energizer. And that just will not work for that smoke detector. It's kind of connected to our home alarm system. And it's our first time having to change them. So y'all, please bear with me. But I digress. This is Pandy of Pandy's Hair Candy and more. How's everyone doing? It is Friday, August 23rd, y'all. And I just wanted to jump on the channel and do a quick show review. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, you already know what it is. Welcome back. Queen Sugar on Wednesday of this week was season 4, episode 9. It was titled Stare at the Same Fires. Y'all, I am so excited. Power is getting ready to come back on next week, and then Greenleaf will be starting back up too. So we'll have more shows coming on that we can get into. Also, tomorrow I'll have maybe one for sure, maybe two wig reviews on the channel. So I thank you all for continuing to support your girl. And without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the review, y'all. Now, this episode begins with Charlie. Remember, she was sitting at the bar. Oh, wait a minute, y'all. I'm tripping. I am all behind. That was the previous week's review. This is actually season 4, episode 10. And it's titled Oh Mamere. It was spelled Mamere. Oh, I'm all over the place tonight, y'all. So please forgive me. Now, in this episode, it began with Micah. We see Micah taking Blue off of Darla's hands. Apparently, she gets a phone call from her mother, and the mama's all excited about the fact that she ran into one of her old college friends from DC. She's back in town, and she wants to touch bases with Darla. Well, Darla, doesn't really want to run into the girl because I was thinking, she would be embarrassed of her background, this, that, and the third. But come to find out, this was one of her old turn-up partners. So Darla's mom's thinking the girl's all innocent and sedity when really the girl's a major turn-up queen. She likes to pop pills, drink, kick it hard, all the stuff that Darla's worked so hard to turn her life around from. So she's reluctant to actually meet up with the girl. But nevertheless, at some point she agrees to meet up with her, and she asks Micah to take Blue off her hands. So they're supposed to be going to some sort of a park, a fair, amusement park, or something of that sort, and they're going to meet up with her later. Now, we also see Nova showing up at the diner, uninvited, trying to force some sort of dialogue with Auntie Vi. Auntie Vi is so not here for it. She clearly states that she's not ready, and she realizes that she should have discussed her plans with them first, them being her family. And she expresses that verbally to Auntie Vi. But Auntie Vi, like I said, she's not ready. She's not feeling it for Nova right now. So Nova, in this instance, is probably going to have to just fall back a little bit and let that go until they're ready. Next, we see Darla, Blue, and Michael. Apparently, like I said, Micah is helping her out. by taking Blue off her hands so that she can go hang out with the old friend. Next, we see Charlie and Nova out having lunch. Still working on trying to mend the bond that was broken within their relationship. Remember last week, Charlie picked Nova up from the bar, took her home, nurtured her, let her cry on her shoulder, embraced her, and that sort of thing. So they're out having lunch, and Charlie presents Nova with an early birthday gift. She thanks her sister for helping her, and they thank each other. Charlie then invites Nova out on a spontaneous day trip. Since she'll be hitting the campaign trail soon, she's like, what better time do we have than now to do it? So Nova eagerly accepts the invitation from her sister, and it appears that things are appearing to be headed back in the right direction as far as those two rebuilding their sisterhood. Now, they hit the road together, cruising along, listening to music, and they're making small talk regarding the arson at the mill. Nova offers to help out by tapping into her journalist connections. Something along the lines of investigating the Old World Energy Company on her sister's behalf. Because in their heart of hearts, they know that the Boudreaux and the Landrys are behind it. In particularly Frances Boudreaux, the Landry's older sister, but they can't really pinpoint it and they can't tie it all together. So she offers to help out in that context. They then arrive at this beautifully secluded women's retreat. It's real cute and quaint, but Nova doesn't appear to be feeling it. It's kind of like urban and rustic. They're like out in the woods and nature, and they're like hiking in the woods along this trail, and then they get to this like little hut. And when you open up the hut, it's like fully furnished. It's really chic. It's modern. You got all the amenities in it. However, when Nova asks the guide, well, where's the restrooms? She's like, the outhouses are just down the trail, and they're looking like, I don't know about this one. Meanwhile, Micah and Nova are out and about, hanging out at, like I said, some sort of a fair or carnival. They discuss Miss Deisha. Blue is a little bit torn about liking her. I think because, he's in fear of hurting his mother's feeling. He acknowledges to Micah that he thinks Pops really likes Miss Deisha a lot. So Micah kind of gives Blue this pep talk on, how he remembers how it was when his mom and dad went their separate ways. And, just kind of let him see it from that perspective. And asked him, his feelings on Miss Deisha, and, basically just trying to reiterate that if he's ever going through anything at all, that he's always available for him to reach out. So I thought that was a good scene. Micah tries to encourage him on how to deal with everything that he's dealing with. Now back to Nova and Charlie out in nature. They're still talking. They discuss seeing Remy behind Charlie's back. Remember when Nova did that? I think that might have been season 2 or maybe the end of season 1. I thought Nova was real shiesty for that move. Nova admits that they never slept with each other, but that she wanted to. Charlie asks, why do you do that? She clearly has issues with her sister that are lying just beneath the surface. So even though they're working to mend and rebuild this relationship, there's something there within Nova's spirit that, I don't know, she might just need some prayer or something, y'all. I don't know. Next, we see Darla. Like I said, she has reluctantly agreed to meet up with her homegirl, her old college classmate. The girl appears to be very bougie, very well-to-do, and has no idea of the different path that Darla's life has taken. Remember, or so I thought. But after watching the scene a little bit further, the girl tells Darla that she's been considering relocating to Louisiana. Darla immediately looks horrified. Apparently, she used to be her turn-up partner. The girl brings up the fact that the last time they kicked it, which was 7 to 8 years ago, approximately Blue's age, that Darla and two guys, I believe she said one of them's name was Tom, they put on quite the X-rated show and performance while she was under the influence, of course. And to Darla's surprise, she reminds her that everyone there at that party witnessed it, because apparently it was done out in the open in front of everybody. Darla claims to not remember any of it and abruptly storms out of the restaurant. She basically realizes that this has to be the night that she conceived Blue. Now, she's already acknowledged the fact that Ralph Angel is not Blue's biological father, and she barely came out with that to him, but now this is just too much, y'all. Now, I believe this is Darla's breaking point, or so it appears, because she heads right into the nearest bar and starts taking shots to the head, y'all. Now, back to Micah and Noah. They're still out and about, and Micah freaks out because he has taken his eyes off of Blue for a quick moment. Blue said he had to go to the bathroom, so they walk up to the restroom area. You know how usually on one side it's the men and on the other side it's the women's. Well, there was a long line in the men's bathroom, and Micah's kind of looking around. He's not really paying attention as Blue walks off. He said, "Do you want me to take you?" And he was like, "No, I can take myself," trying to be a big boy. So he sends Blue up to the line, and he kind of just glances away for a hot second. And apparently the urgency of kids that age that gotta pee, Blue said, "Bump this. The women's bathroom line is short. I'm going to the women's bathroom." So that's what he does. But when he does it, he doesn't say anything to Micah. He just runs off in there. So then when Micah does turn back around and see Blue is not there, he starts freaking out and panicking. He runs up in the crowd in the line and looks all around, and he's just thinking, I can only imagine what he's thinking, that something has happened. Has he been abducted? Oh my God, I only took my eyes off of him for a moment. That sort of thing. So he runs around, starts yelling for Blue. Meanwhile, Blue comes back out of the bathroom, and he's confused and he's scared because he's like, "Micah, where'd you go?" Well, he sees a police officer sitting near his cruiser. So he walks up to the officer and says, "Hey, I just got separated from my cousin. I'm lost," that sort of thing. So the officer radios it in. Basically, and he places Blue in the back of the cruiser, and he says, "Hey, I'll let you sit here until your cousin arrives." Okay. Now, back at Auntie Vi's diner, Vi is struggling to operate her Fitbit watch. Those little new Apple watch things that everybody's wearing. Okay, guess who ends up being the one to help her out with that? The little Hispanic young man that's working off his debt for vandalizing the shop. So she had to humble herself. She's been being so snappy and mean towards the boy. So she ends up getting help, getting that thing calibrated and getting it set. She's got on her jogging suit and everything. So apparently, and Vi looks good to be an older woman for her age. So I think she's getting ready to go out on a run or a jog or something, get some physical activity into her life. So he helps her with that. Now back at the amusement park, Micah walks up and spots Blue in the back of the police cruiser. Now when he tries to approach the car, the officer intervenes, demanding to see ID. Micah's feeling some type of way because of his previous run-ins with police there in Louisiana. So he's like, what do I need to show you ID for? That's my little cousin. So he continues to try to walk towards the car, and the next thing we see is the officer reaching for his weapon and telling him to fall back. Okay? And poor Blue is just distraught and confused and scared at what he's witnessing. The officer gets Blue to confirm that he basically knows Micah before allowing them to, reconnect and allowing Blue to hop out of the car. Next, we see Aunt Vi out at the park jogging, and lo and behold, a struggling, staggering, drunk Darla goes walking by her looking all disheveled and just all out of sorts. Auntie Vi is surprised to see Darla in this condition and in the broad daylight. Darla claims to be looking for Micah and Blue, but Aunt Vi tells her they're at a whole nother park on a whole nother side of town, and Auntie Vi clearly notices that Darla is wasted. She's all disheveled and staggering and everything. Auntie Vi tells her that she's going to take her home. Of course, Darla tries to put up a fight, but Auntie Vi ain't hearing that mess. So she takes her home. Back at Aunt Vi and Hollywood's crib, Ralph Angel, Hollywood, and Mr. Prosper are all chilling. They're teasing Mr. Prosper about his new girlfriend, Miss Genevieve. They all just chatting it up, as men do, talking about how basically they all have found romance. And then they start asking Ralph Angel, how serious things are with Miss Deisha. He tells her that he thinks it's pretty serious. They got a date planned, and he plans on trying to take it to the next level with her. Now, Charlie and Nova, they basically appear to be having an adult slumber party of sorts. They're still talking and trying to work things out. Nova starts reminiscing about how Charlie used to shade her when they were younger. Charlie doesn't seem, she's got that convenient, selective memory. She doesn't recall any of that. She only recalls how she always looked up to her big sister Nova. All this time, both these two ladies have had wrong, preconceived notions about who each other really is. They've never even taken the time to get to know one another. They didn't even know those basic small things. Now at Darla's, Aunt Vi's trying to support Darla by sharing that they both have a past. So Darla begins to open up to her about her big mistake while she was dating Ralph Angel, but went home to DC and turned up with her homegirl and conceived Blue. Auntie Vi assures her that she shouldn't blame herself because she wasn't in the right frame of mind. She practically convinces Darla that she was raped. She then tells Aunt Vi it was more than one. So in other words, she don't know who Blue's daddy is, okay? Then Vi begins to share that this same thing happened to her when she was a young newlywed to Jimmy Dale. Not the multiple partner thing, but apparently the sex and the love making was anything but. It was more like forced interaction, because it's your duty as my wife type of thing. Now, this appears to have triggered old pain and trauma for Vi, but while allowing Darla to feel more at ease with not blaming herself or going so hard on herself about her past choices and actions and consequences, this is Auntie Vi's way of, in this moment, stepping in and trying to support Darla, who we all know Auntie Vi really can't stand. So Auntie Vi got a heart. She do have a heart. Okay? Now Micah comes in with Blue and they tell all the men about the incident with the cop at the park. Ralph Angel immediately gets teary-eyed. He always cries. He cries so easy, but he's such a handsome man. But anyway, I digress. Mr. Prosper then begins to speak words of encouragement and empowerment to Micah. And they all just kind of take heed and, listen to the fact that what Mr. Prosper is trying to convey is you don't never allow them, meaning the officers, meaning people of other races that may be talking in a fashion of trying to condemn you or belittle you. You don't ever allow them to take you to that place. So especially when you're you have the care of your young minor cousin. It was just deep, but it was very encouraging and very empowering. And I think it spoke to the fact that this right here is a prime example of what Hollywood was talking about. The men don't have a place to gather. Last week's episode, he stated that to Vi when he went over to try to encourage Ralph Angel about the fact that they were trying to close down his prison reentry program. He said he felt helpless. He had no words. He couldn't think of nothing to say to encourage him. All he could do was hug him. So this should be piquing Hollywood's interest even more, that this is even more so needed, based on what just happened with Micah and Blue, that they do need some type of support group for the men, from the young to the old, in St. Joe. That was just my observation of that scene. Now, Auntie Vi calls Ralph Angel during that visit with the fellas, and she tells him to meet her at Darla's house alone. When he arrives, the mood is very dark. Darla decides she wants to talk about the night Blue was conceived. Apparently, there were two guys that she had slept with that day, and of course, she blames it on the substance abuse and claims that she now realizes that it had to have been rape. Now, I'm giving that the strong side eye, because if she wasn't in the right frame of mind and she was so out of it, and remember, she ran out of the restaurant when she was out with her girlfriend, she didn't even try to question her for clarification. I don't know. We're just going to have to pray on Darla. But Ralph Angel, being the soft-hearted man that he is, he breaks down and he apologizes for her relapsing, and he tells her that they'll get through it. He holds her, but apparently this caused him to miss that date night. Remember, him and Miss Deisha had planned, and he was planning on taking it to the next level. I so hope that this does not cause a rift with them. He did end up staying the night over at Darla's. However, he slept on the couch because the scene showed him getting up in the morning and folding up the bedding and everything on the couch, and then he went into the bedroom to check on her in the morning time. It is clearly obvious that Darla is still in love with Ralph Angel. She even tried to give him a seductive eye and stroke his hands, and I was just thankful that he backed away and he walked back into the living room. Thank God. And of course, in true Queen Sugar fashion, y'all, this is where the episode ended. Season 4, y'all, episode 10, Queen Sugar, titled Old Mamere. Y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know if you caught the episode. Let me know what you thought. Did I leave anything out? Did I cover everything? What did y'all think about that episode? I think it's getting deep. Please take a moment to like the video, either on your way in or on your way out. I greatly appreciate it. And please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. If you like the content, please take a moment to tap the bell so that you're notified every time that I upload content to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It is free, 99. Until next time, I will talk with you all later. Bye.